Hi guys, welcome back to Scrapping Scotland. Thanks for joining today. Before we get started on today's teardown, just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has recently passed on a message of condolence. Lots of people have sent me flowers, cards, messages around the death of my mother, so I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone for doing that. It is really appreciated. Obviously something that I was swithering whether to actually share online or not, but as I've been using kind of scrapping as a little bit of an escape, I did share that information, and the response has been quite overwhelming. So just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that has sent the message. Okay, thanks very much. Today we're going to scrap down an electric skateboard. Again, not something I've done before, so something brand new to me. Something I did pick up quite a while back, but it's sat in the shed for some time, as I've mainly been concentrating on taking apart motors and brass bearing items as well. So today we are going to take apart the e-skateboard. This is a skateboard. It's a Raptor. Now I don't have the control for it. I don't have any way of recharging it. I don't know if it even works. I'm not going to spend money to buy the components to see if it works, so I'm just going to scrap it out. The underside, as you can see, the motor is attached to the board in the back truck, and there's a big battery pack in the middle. Sometimes you actually get the motor contained within the wheels themselves, but this one, as I said, as you can see, it's attached to the truck. Okay, so we're going to take this apart and we're going to have a look at the motor. We're going to see what's inside this battery compartment, what kind of size batteries they are. And obviously be careful doing that, because batteries can be explosive, so we need to be careful. Okay, so let's get into it, guys. So, first things first is to find the correct bit that will fit these. I thought I had found that bit, but it seems to be too small. So we will try something else. I think we're good. So they do have bolts underneath, so it will be a case of holding the bolt and unscrewing. We have our first screw out. I know this isn't going to be too easy, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed this bit up. So there's the battery box, guys. This is the main battery in here. It doesn't just drop out. But that's the main battery. I'll have a look at that to see if that's a battery I can actually take to the scrapyard. It may very well be. I think it probably will be, actually. There is a little board inside here as well. We'll get that out as well. We'll put this to the side at the moment while we get the trucks off of this. Okay, there's the first truck off. This is the one, as I say, that contains the motor. Second truck removed. And that is just a plain board. So I was having a little trouble finding the right drill bit, but again, my trusty little Chardon precision screwdriver set came up trumps. Gave me the right bit on the end, and I was able to take them off. I've mentioned this set a few times, guys, in previous videos, but I mean, this is like 8 or 9 quid, and it's got so many little screwdriver bits in it. It's essential. It really is essential for micro scrapping or little screws or things like that. Yeah, so if you're scrapping out things like laptops, computers, essential. But for other things, bigger things, you know, it can have that bit in it that you just don't have. Fantastic little set. You can get them on Amazon. I think you can actually get them on Temu as well. You know, they're not expensive. I would recommend, if you scrap, get one of these. Okay, so we'll turn our attention to this part first of all. We've got a couple of screws here. That will release a plate, and hopefully that will allow us to then get to the motor itself and get that off. But this is going to be trial and error, guys. I've never taken one apart before. We just need to see how it goes. Okay, so taking those screws out allowed me to release a little cover, just a little plastic cover. And then you can see in the system, and inside the system itself, we've got a couple of screws holding in the motor, and we've obviously got a drive belt in there as well that we can cut, remove, and get the rest of this out. I think this is all aluminium casing. Concentrate on the motor first of all, and we'll get back to taking the wheels and everything else off the struts. So here's our motor. Couple of screws in the top, keeping that on. Also got a little clip on top, keeping this gear on here. Now I do have circlip removers, but they're ones that remove circlips with little holes in them, and these don't have little holes in them, so it might not be as easy to remove this circlip, but we'll give it a go. Okay, so there's our housing with our magnet in the middle. It's just steel, so we'll just stick that in our scrap steel. And here's our motor. So I'm not going to scrap this motor out. I've got all these in a drawer, these types, and we will scrap them out later. What I do want to do is I do want to try and get this off, because this has got a nice bit of aluminium on top as well. So we will try and get this circlip off and try and release that aluminium. So we do have the clip off, but it's not easily releasing. So I'm just going to put this piece in the vise and try and bang it in from the top. There's a little piece of the top. That is steel. Now we've just got a few screws holding this piece to the aluminium casing. Seems to be a day for the aluminium, not the aluminium, it seems to be a day for the manual screwdriver. Okay, so screws are out, does release the brush casing, but there is still a bearing in the middle of here, so again I'm going to have to bash the motor itself through. So back in the vise and out with the hammer. Okay, and there's our motor, and we will take that apart another time when I'm doing a load of them. There's our piece of aluminium. Did have a little steel ring in there as well, we've got that out. Yep, and that's just a nice little piece of cast. You can see this top piece has also got a bearing inside it, so I do need to get that out as well. Can't put that in with aluminium, it's got to get the steel out of this. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So there's another little piece of aluminium. Okay, there's our two pieces. Now back to the trucks. Take off the rubber pieces, and now all it's going to be is to get the nuts off of these nuts here. One that side, one that side, and that should give us some nice clean aluminium as well. To do that, we'll get the big set out. In fact, let's use this as an opportunity to see if my little Temu buy works. Okay, bear with me. Alright guys, so two little Temu buys. One is the nut driver set, and the other is the universal nut driver. Now this thing only works if the nut's on the surface. If it's reset, then it doesn't really work. I'm saying that just because I tested the depth of it, but what I haven't done is actually tried to use it yet. So, as you can see, it should adapt to any size, has its own little adapter. That should now take off any nut on the surface. Let's see if it does. Works a treat. Going to put it in the vise just to stop it spinning. Don't want to break my hand. If it gets stuck, you just do that, you just take off the adapter and poke it in from the other side. And there's our first big chunky wheel off. Okay, that's the second wheel off now. We do have these steel pieces. I'm not sure if they go right through. Possibly do. Only one way to find out there, and that's to try and bash them through and see if they come through. So I'd say not. So I think what we're going to have to do is try and either cut them out or see if we can get onto it with a pair of vice grips and unscrew it. I'm not sure if they're screwed in or not, possibly they are. Okay, these are vice grips. They're also called mold grips. So they're simply just not gripping at all, guys. So I'm going to cut into this to see how deep it is. So from what I can see, it's going all the way through the truck. It is going actually right through it. But unfortunately it doesn't seem to want to bash right through it. No, so that, guys, will go in aluminium breakage or dirty aluminium, whatever you want to call it. Because I'm not spending any longer trying to take a bit of metal off of there. This as well, guys, this blade. This is a diamond coated blade, also from Temu. Now, this is still cutting through everything as good as the first time I used it. I've probably been using this for a few weeks and it's still cutting fine, so I would recommend this blade as well. I would say I would probably have went through maybe 8 or 9 standard blades already, and this has done the job fantastic. So again, you know, bargains can be found on Temu. You can find little tools, little products on there that will make your scrapping life easier. Okay. Okay, so again, the question is now, is it even worth taking these wheels off if this is all just going to go into breakage? Okay. And the answer to that is no, because I'm not interested in keeping the trucks. And there's nothing more I can really do with them. I do think I can probably get this piece off, so this one's maybe worth taking off, so I could guess this one piece. Doesn't like the little screws. That's another piece of aluminium. So these 4 little nuts now that are causing me a little bit of an issue. Probably the easiest way to get them off is to cut them out. My problem is then that I'm going to leave a little bit of this metal in there possibly, which I don't want to do. But I may not, maybe I'll just pull it off. There's always something that makes it difficult. Jesus. As you can see, the blade's still the same size. You know, hasn't reduced any, hasn't lost any of its coating. Still great. Okay, another little piece of aluminium. Okay, what I'm going to do just to make sure it is going all the way through is I'm going to cut here and cut here, see if it hits the steel. The answer to the question was yes, it did hit the steel. As you can see, the steel is running all the way through it. And it's possibly these little pins that are keeping it in. Not quite sure how to remove them though. So got the pins out, but they're not reset deep enough to be something that's holding in this rod. Alright guys, well, sometimes you try and sometimes you fail, and I done both. I tried and failed. As I say, that'll just go in the aluminium breakage now, and it's dirty aluminium, because I am not getting that steel rod out of there anytime soon. Okay, that's fine, no issues. Yeah. Okay, so now we'll get back to the little battery in. So let's try and get this out. Removed. And there's our battery. Try and take this off here. Okay, and you can actually take that little 12-volt battery and you can scrap that. Okay, that's it released from the terminals, and that's now good to be scrapped. In here we've got a couple of little switches, little switch motors. Okay, they will contain a little bit of brass and a little bit of copper. Again, I have done a video on these switches if you check out the channel. And there's a few obviously insulated copper wires, a couple of little brass plugs, not much else. Jesus. Rubber. These little connectors where the rubber sits on it are steel, so I need to take them out. And now we have a clean piece of aluminium. Took a little bit of effort, but we got there. Okay guys, so again, not a great deal in terms of what we got. We did get a battery. I'm not sure how much batteries are going for at the moment, but let's wait and see. It's 1.76 kilos. Okay. Which is 3.14 pounds. Definitely missed that one. So that's now 543 grams. That's now £1 3 ounces. So a little better, but not a lot. Nothing else really to take off it, guys. That's about it. Obviously got these nice wheels that I might just keep. They may come in handy for another project somewhere. I do need to build myself a little kind of trolley to move things around, so these kind of wheels could be ideal for that. I do have caster wheels somewhere, but for back wheels they may be quite handy. I don't know. That's going to be about it for this one, guys. Not the most interesting teardown I've ever done before, but I really was interested to actually see what battery was inside that. If it was going to be a stack of batteries that all linked together, or if it was going to be one singular battery. And it is one singular battery, so as I say, these are scrappable. You can take them to the scrapyard and cash them in. So I will do that with them. Last time I took a couple of these type of batteries in. They were bigger than these, but they were off one of these e-scooters, mobile scooter for the elderly or the infirm. So yeah, they are definitely scrappable, and I will be taking that one in. It's the only one I've got at the moment, so I'll take that in with a load of other stuff. But that's it, guys. That is it for the Raptor e-skateboard teardown. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on Scrapping Scotland. Bye for now.